Hey, everybody. So I've been fortunate enough to have lots of conversations now with a plethora of businesses about AI, how they think about AI, what they want to do with it, etc. And I've got been able to distill that and understand it now fully and exactly why a majority of AI implementations fail for a majority of businesses. That's a statistic that I've seen across the board. And I 100%, 1,000,000% believe it. And I understand it fully now. It's businesses, they don't understand exactly how AI works, and they treat it like magic software is kind of like the bottom line, and the simplest way that I can break that down within this. And then let's start diving into it, right? And to me, like the first place to dive into it, so this diagram to me is like the most perfect universe of an AI implementation that I can imagine. And this is for a marketing department, but and this software is all for marketing, but this could be for a sales department, for operations, for engineering, etc. Like it's just, I would want this exact same setup. You would just change out the software on the left-hand side, right? And then maybe you don't need to strip out PII depending on the instances. But so that would be it. And then so let's talk about how this works, functions, and why it's set up this way. And then first of all, I wouldn't expect I would never expect to go into a mid-level business and see this setup already built out. Like if I went in and I saw this setup already built out, I'd be like Yoda. Like I just wouldn't have to exist anymore, right? I'd be like, okay, cool. Like I'm good. I'm gonna fade out. But usually I do that with businesses, but it's like because they're asking like too many questions. So like too many ridiculous questions. I'm just like, rest. I need rest. But diving deep into this framework specifically, and piecing it apart as to where these failures come in. So if you look at this, starting off, AI isn't replacing any of these software applications, right? Let's start there. So this software stack for this marketing company, they have a Facebook, they have a CRM, they have a website, they have paid data, and they have a ton of other sources. Like all of these other areas and software applications that they have that are in existence and they're getting data from, nothing within that changes, right? Like AI isn't going to become their CRM. Like that's step number one. Like I think some people and a lot of organizations have that overall, right? Okay, AI is going to be our new CRM and our new software application overall. AI isn't replacing those software applications, and it's not replacing the employees that do those functions. It's augmenting is where it fits in and is 100% the best model within this, right? Augmenting both the employees as well as these software applications. And it's like the same thing on both ends. AI isn't going to be your CRM. AI is going to augment your CRM data. And that's the end goal within this, right? Is we want to augment all of your data. And then so within that, this structure is to me the Cadillac, like what you should be striving towards in all instances within that. And then so why should you be striving towards this particular structure here, right? Like why wouldn't you just connect like Facebook directly to the AI or CRM directly to the AI? Two reasons for that. One is security overall, right? Like this structure is just far more secure. It eliminates a lot of security concerns that you would have by doing those things, and it puts a trust layer in between the AI and that. So that's step number one, rule number one. But most important, and more importantly for you as the end user, why do you care about this, right? So most importantly within that, let's take a look at a few of these examples here, right? So Facebook in your CRM. I'm going to tell you something that maybe software companies won't tell you. Facebook doesn't want to talk to your CRM, and your CRM doesn't want to talk to Facebook. These applications don't want to talk to each other off the bat. Same thing with your web analytics and your whatever your front end is. Let's say it's Node.js and WordPress, right? They don't want to talk to your CRM. They don't want to talk to Facebook. Same thing. Same thing with the paid data. Same thing with all of these sources. None of these sources actually want to talk to each other, and you want to get data into and out of these sources. So the best way to do that is to have a central database. Some people and some organizations, and a lot of organizations, too many organizations, will say, well, our central database is our CRM. That's our where all of this information goes to. We don't need this because we have this. The thing that I'll say to that overall is that this CRM is not this. Like this, these are not equal, right? This is a CRM. This is a database. CRM database. They are two different things. While a CRM has a database and it's built on top of a database, it's not your company's central database, right? It shouldn't be your system of record. And that's kind of like the big thing within this from like that corporate talk is that system of record application, which like, so you have, let's say, a bunch of disparate data on your different customers, right? So maybe you have some data in Facebook that doesn't go to the CRM. Maybe you have some from your website analytics, some of your paid data. Not all of that's being pumped into the CRM, right? But you could be pumping all of that into your central database, that central repository. And then so this central database and this structure here, like ignore, like let's for a moment here, not even worry about everything on this right-hand side, right? Let's just like pretend that this doesn't even exist. Let's just talk purely and 100% about this, right? This is like step one in any sort of setup that you should be doing within this, and any organization should be looking at this overall. Like if you don't have this within the org, this is the problem that you should be fixing before you even talk about AI, before you even get anything else into the picture. Getting your backend into this structure is going to solve and be more beneficial for you than anything else that you can do, because and the bottom line is that in order to activate AI, right, like outside of everything else that I've mentioned within this, all of these external benefits, like the AI model isn't going to just take the data directly from your CRM very well, directly from these different applications very well, right? It's going to need a central dumping point in order for that. Like, so this structure works best for that reason. It also works best because these systems don't want to talk to each other. So then you just eliminate that problem. And it works best because your company overall needs a system of record, right? So for all of these reasons, like for 25 years now, people have thought this is the way to go. This is the path, right? Engineers have, okay, this is the general scalable path, and like nothing will beat this out. Like, and you can make different upgrades, right? So there's been major upgrades here to this. Like now you have like Snowflake and Kubernetes and like all different like Docker, like all different types of things that you can do with regards towards this here on the back end. But this structure, like what this looks like from a 50,000 foot level, like what we're looking at here, isn't changed in 25 years, isn't going to change in 25 years. You're going to want to take your disparate systems, dump all of that data into a central database, and then from there, that's where you jack in anything else that you would want to or need to talk to each other from that centralized database point, right? And then so once you get to that point, then as you can see here on the right-hand side, that's where you're feeding in the data for your models. And then so like the bottom line is that like without this in here, this particular component here, your AI model is worthless, right? Like your AI model needs the data from all of these internal sources in order to be a good AI model for your internal organization. Like if you're not doing this and you're not taking it to this step, it's not your internal AI model. Like you're not actually doing anything with it. And then so this is from a broad 50,000 foot level, right? And then so let's break down these kind of concepts and go like a little bit deeper into it. I created this guide for you. The AI Implementation Roadmap, a guide for businesses to avoid the monolithic myth and achieve real results. So a frequent pitfall for businesses venturing into artificial intelligence is the misconception of AI as a singular turnkey solution, a monolithic piece of software poised to seamlessly overhaul everything from customer relationship management to marketing automation. This fundamental misunderstanding is the leading cause of failed AI implementations. The reality is that AI is not a magic bullet. It's a powerful set of tools like any other business capability, and it requires clear goals, strategic direction, and a fundamental understanding of its workings to deliver tangible value. This guide provides a roadmap for businesses to navigate the complexities of AI adoption, steer clear of the monolithic myth, and achieve successful goal-oriented implementations. That goal-orientedness is the number 2 thing that on-site within this. We've gone from like the 50,000 foot level. The number 1 thing that I want you to take from this guide here is that above anything else, AI as systems, as they operate, the one quality that they all share uniquely is that AI doesn't have an internal goal mechanism, right? Like you are the goal mechanism for AI. And then so what does that mean? That means that above any other software application, like if this is a general rule for software, it is times a million when it comes to AI. And people don't understand this, which is that if you don't have an upfront goal for your AI system, it's not going to do anything. Like it won't. You have to have a crystal clear, smart goal, and we'll dissect that very specifically, like that's what a smart goal is, and then how to actually frame and dissect that, right? So the number 1 internal deficiency in most AI strategies is lack of defined purpose. Without a clear vision of what AI is intended to achieve and a realistic grasp of its capabilities and limitations, businesses are destined for disappointment. A successful AI journey begins not with the technology itself, but with a well-defined business problem. Shifting the mindset from AI as a product to AI as a capability. The first and most critical step is to reframe the internal conversation around AI. It's not a single product to be purchased and installed. It's not a single piece of software. It's not going to replace your entire backend as like one individual entity. Instead, think of AI as a new capability for your organization, much like you think of your sales or your marketing functions. It's a new department. The department of AI now exists within your organization, just like you would have sales, marketing, engineering, HR, etc. This capability is comprised of various technologies and approaches, each suited for different tasks. Key distinctions to understand. AI is not one thing. Artificial intelligence is a broad field encompassing various subdisciplines, and these include, and not limited to, machine learning. So algorithms that learn from data to make predictions or decisions. This is the engine behind most modern AI applications. Then you have natural language processing, which is a subset of machine learning, which enables computers to understand, interpret, and generate human language. Think chatbots, sentiment analysis, and language translation. Then you have computer vision, which is completely separate, which allows machines to see and interpret visual information from images and videos. And then you have generative AI, so models that can create new content such as text, images, and code. Bottom line, and the most important thing to understand within this is that, so let's say that you want all of these things, or you want a system that does all of these things. That's a multitude of models. Let's say you want a chatbot that then sends information off and emails clients, and then types up that email, and then includes a picture in the email, and then generates a video as a thank you off of that. That's like 10 models, like just to give you an idea of what you'd be looking at within that. And that's a complex framework to build out a system that does just that overall, right? And then secondarily, and very importantly, again, I can't stress this enough, AI augments, it doesn't just replace. So while automation is a key benefit, the most powerful AI implementations often augment human capabilities, freeing up employees from repetitive tasks to focus on more strategic and creative work. What does that mean? Like, I wouldn't put in my recommendation would not be to put in an AI as like it's going to auto respond to like every single email that's going to come in. It's going to be the better would be like it's AI as a scout, right? As that first line of treatment as defense. And then if someone wants to speak to a human, they immediately have that capability, etc. And then build it out from there, right? So it's augmenting, not replacing. The 4 pillars of a successful AI implementation. To build a robust and successful AI strategy, businesses should focus on 4 key pillars. 1, define clear and measurable goals, the why. Before a single line of code is written or any vendor is contacted, the most critical question to answer is, what business problem are we trying to solve? Vague aspirations like improving efficiency or enhancing customer service aren't enough. Goals must be specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound, SMART. So what is a SMART goal? So a vague goal would be, we want to improve customer service. A SMART goal would be reduce customer support ticket resolution time by 20% within 2 months. It's something we can actually drive the AI towards, right? Personalized marketing campaigns would be a vague goal. A SMART goal would be increase click-through rates on marketing emails by 15% in the next quarter by using an AI-powered recommendation engine. Again, a goal that we can drive towards, right? The vague goal would be automate CRM entry. The actual goal would be to decrease the time sales representatives spend on manual data entry in the CRM by 50% within the fiscal year. 2, cultivate a foundational understanding of AI, the what. Business leaders don't need to become data scientists, but they do need to have a foundational understanding of AI concepts to make informed decisions. This involves educating key stakeholders. So invest in workshops, courses, or expert consultations to demystify AI for your leadership team and key employees. It's kind of like a big thing that I see within a lot of these meetings overall, right? It's like, and the key stakeholders, they'll be very stoked and very interested in what AI can do overall, but then they can sometimes derail the conversation because they'll be enthusiastic overall about maybe characteristics or capabilities of AI that are not necessarily like the best capabilities to invest in, or once you understand the technology better, there's different ways to do it, etc. Right? But then they can just very quickly they're the key stakeholders, right? Drive it into that direction. So their foundational understanding is like critical within the process. Understanding data as the fuel. AI models are only as good as the data that they're trained on. This means prioritizing data quality, accessibility, and governance. A garbage in, garbage out principle applies. Going back to this, right? If you don't fix this and you don't have this, none of this matters. Like this, like whatever this is on the right-hand side doesn't, like it's meaningless if you don't have it connected to this, if there's not a good source of this. Starting small, improving value. So begin with a pilot project that has a high probability of success and can deliver a clear return on investment. This builds momentum and internal buy-in for more ambitious projects. This is something that I've learned to implement with like all of my consultations, implementations, etc., is to make it as visual as possible as to like what is going to be the end result, the outcome, develop some sort of like MVP demo as quickly as possible, get buy-in on that specifically. If that's not what the company ends up wanting, then you pivot and you move forward, right? And you develop and you can to build more understanding by doing that, by showing rather than telling, especially when it comes to AI. So build a collaborative and cross-functional team, the who. AI is not just an IT project. A successful implementation requires a collaborative effort between technical experts and business domain specialists. Bridge the gap. Create teams that include data scientists, engineers, and the business users who will ultimately interact with the AI system. The business users possess invaluable context and understanding of the nuances of their daily operations. Foster a culture of experimentation. Not every AI project will be a runaway success. Encourage a culture where it's safe to experiment, learn from failures, and iterate. Bottom line here within this and this particular framework, like companies that adopt this framework, I see them succeed far more often and overall than any other framework that I've seen within corporate environments when it comes to AI. And that again goes back to that example and that analogy of treating AI like its own brand new department and function within your organization, right? And then so within that department, you want voices from all other departments, just like you would within like a lot of teams have like a operations department, right, where the operations is and like technical operations, well, they'll be comprised of like stakeholders from individual teams, right, where there'll be like you'll have like a counterpart to your marketing team, right, but they'll be on like the operations team, but they'll deal specifically like with the marketing team, etc., right? That same type of framework and structure is exactly how you want to organize your your internal AI team. 4, develop a strategic and iterative roadmap, the how. A successful AI strategy is not a one-and-done implementation. It's an ongoing process of learning, adapting, and scaling. Prioritize use cases. Identify and prioritize potential AI applications based on their potential impact and feasibility. Integrate, don't isolate. Plan for how AI tools will integrate with your existing systems and workflows. An AI solution that operates in a silo is unlikely to be adopted. So if there's no way that there's no connection points from here to here, it's like, why this? There's literally no point to doing this if you have zero map as to how you're going to get this data over, right? You're operating in a pipe dream at that point, which is like where the most critical point for these failures come in. And then by abandoning the monolithic myth and embracing a goal-oriented strategic approach, businesses can unlock the true transformative potential of artificial intelligence. The journey to AI success is a marathon, and it's not a sprint. And it begins with a clear understanding of the destination overall, like what you want your end result to look like, and then how you want your machine to be humming, right? And then from here, like once you have this, then you can just literally duplicate this, make a copy and paste job, change out the software. This is now your sales department. This is now going over your engineering, operations, HR, etc. It's all the same exact structure. It's just like of course you would have different databases, right? Like you don't want like your marketing database and your here to be touching probably like your finance database, right? Then they'd be two separate databases overall, and they would not touch or interact with each other, but they would like their overall structure and like what those teams probably wouldn't know internally by themselves is that like both of the models would just be this, right? And then they'd just be both the same clones of this overall. But this general structure is where you want to get towards. And I guarantee you, if you get towards this structure and you just focus on this, like above anything else that I've talked about, you get your organization towards this and you understand how to map towards this structure here, like 90%, you're going to cut your failure rate within AI like 90% overall. And then so there it is. It's why most businesses fail when it comes to AI implementations and how to correct that. Like this type of content, please like and subscribe. Thank you very much.